everyone, welcome to Healthy Living. I'm Wendy. For the ones who don't know who I am, you hear me talk about soil all the time. I wish someone would have told me a long time ago about the dirt or the topsoil when you go and purchase it. I have made a video, but I didn't really go in depth into the soil and the reason why I was making it. This video really is for beginners. This is not for a person who's been gardening for years, because they have their way of making up their soil, the ones with so much peat moss and their organic fertilizer or their compost that they're already using. They have their remedy. They figure it out. But this is for beginners, and you know me, I always consider myself a beginner. But when I find something out that I feel like that it works for me, and if you're a beginner, you can kind of search around through YouTube and see what works for you from other gardeners. If it can help you, do so. So I'm going to make this as simple as possible. You know, we all go to Lowe's and Home Depot and we buy the cheapest dirt, topsoil, whatever fit our budget. So for instance, I'm gonna just get a bag for you and just show you. Not saying that this is a bad bag or anything, and it's not, but it is affordable. And if you have other things at home that you can mix with it, that makes it even better. But sometimes when we use different grades of soil that does not have that much nutrients, and you're paying like $2, $1.88, and versus of $8, $9, $10 for a bag. So we have to give it some more nutrients, okay? But what I want to show you is the stuff that you kind of find more so in your bag is this. I'm on a patio, so you're definitely going to hear the wind chimes, okay? All this mulch is what came out of the bag. Now, I'm not going to say it came out of that bag, okay? Because I buy different bags that is busted, and that means I get it even cheaper. If the bag was $2, I'm only paying for $1. So I am a person who's going to budget. And if I'm going to budget, that means I'm going to have to take it to another level, because I know I'm not exactly getting what I want. I know that all this here is in the different low quality of some bags that's affordable. Then I'll turn around and sift, and this is what I end up with. Take it and I put it over here. Let me explain to the beginner gardener. This here is really good for keeping weeds out of your garden. If you have too much of this, and I had to learn the hard way, if you have too much of this in your garden, your plants will grow, but then it will stop growing because it's too much of it. And you'll be trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Even after you even put fertilizer in it, it still can interfere with if you have entirely too much of this. Believe me, I've been through it. Okay, so sometimes we have to learn. So get the rest of that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put that in the container, because now I'm actually done with that. And I'm gonna put this in the container, just so you can see. Yes. It might say 40-pound bag that you're buying, but you're going to have to realize this is heavy. So you're not actually getting 40 pounds, okay? All right. The next thing that we're getting ready to do, let me show you what else. So this is what you end up with. you end up with actual dirt, soil with the sand in it. See, it makes a difference. Okay. Now for me to enhance this here, you can use bone meal, blood meal, 2 different companies, it doesn't matter. Another bone meal, and peat moss. I'm showing you everything because you need to know. And remember, I said this is for beginners. Okay. Perlite. Okay. And we're going to just go for it. I want you to watch me mix. Okay. If I was to leave this the way, just the sand and the mud, sand and the dirt like this, and put a plant in it, well, I can put seeds in it and it will get started growing. But there's no fertilizer or anything in it. Once the plant sprout and everything, it would need fertilizer. But not only that, if I was to try to grow a plant in this, the water would just run through it because it's just sand and soil. It's going to run right through it and it's going to be dry as soon as you start. So the perlite is what helps to keep some moisture and keep your dirt and everything from clunking up. Okay, let's kind of wait for a minute because the wind is blowing. I'm not going to give you no certain measurements because it all depends on how much dirt and soil that you are dealing with. Okay? I can tell you 2 or 3 cups, but that's 2 or 3 cups that I'm working with. Okay? Because I know how much I have here. So it's just like you in the kitchen. And you do it enough time, you'll get used to it. You'll realize what you're gonna need. Okay, there we go. Hope you can see it. All right. Now we're gonna use some peat moss. And all I'm doing is getting a handful. This is going to keep moisture. It's going to keep the water from just running through. You need some moisture to hold in there for the plant. And then you mix that up. And you want to mix it well. But let me tell you about peat moss that I learned, and I had to learn the hard way too, because peat moss, you can water it, and the peat moss, you think that you have it good and saturated, and you can take it and separate your dirt, and honey, it will still be dry. So I don't want you to think that first time watering, you got to get it really wet. And make sure you get way down. Okay. I just planted some seed potatoes. And I noticed that they're doing good in my raised bed. And I wanted to use a different type of soil once they reach a certain level. I didn't want to use the same thing I used when I started out with. And so this is what I'm going to be using. I want to use something different. When you go like, well, what you started out with, if that got them going, why would you do something different? It's just something that we do. Just trying to make sure. All right, this is blood meal. I'm only gonna do a good handful. That's all I'm doing. And bone meal. Kind of brush it up a little bit, as much as I can. And I'm gonna mix it up. Right here, you keep mixing until you are satisfied that you know that you have mixed it from the bottom, the middle, the top, throughout your container. Okay? Okay, that's it. I just mainly wanted just to tell you about how to mix up your dirt. If you get something that, you know, doesn't cost that much and you want to take some soil that didn't cost that much money and you want to enhance it and bring it up to a high standard level for your plants to be able to thrive and be able to grow just like anybody else's, this is what you do. Simple as that. I can't give you no exact measurements, you know, because I'm not really sure how much dirt you actually starting out with. But you see what I'm working with. I want to tell you all, thank you for tuning in to Healthy Living. I know that there is a lot of beginners out there as far as gardeners. I have seen a lot of gardener channels out there, and this channel here is like a learning channel. I'm learning and I'm willing to help anyone. When I find out something new, I'm telling you, mixing your dirt up like this, baby, okay, it's going to work. All right, but baby, you got to get rid of all this unnecessary stuff that's in the garden. We can't do nothing with that. You know, we can't have the wood chips. That's not what we need. We need to get rid of that. It takes some time to shift it, but we got time. We got time for our babies. We're going to do what we need to do to make sure the food that we're going to eat, we're going to make sure that we do everything that we need to do to make sure they get a good start and continue on growing. We ain't got time to be racing in the garden. Honey, it gets hot out there. All right? See you all in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment. If you like this content, subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.